Hi everyone, Master Crop here for Fair Oaks Family Taekwondo. This video is dedicated to our advanced belts, your basics. Now, as a reminder, basics are our stances and our hand techniques. So as blue belts, as red belts, there's a lot of new individual ones you want to learn, whereas as an intermediate belt, there was just a lot of combinations of the white belt stuff to learn, all the basics. So let's get started. Let's start off with our stances. First stance to learn, we're going to go and start off in a middle stance. Shift my weight over one leg, and I'm going to bring my other leg, my other foot next to my knee and actually touch it. This one-legged stance they call a crane stance. What I'm looking for is the arch of this foot is kind of sitting on this calf muscle. So as I'm in that stance, my knees are bent. I shift my weight so I can be balanced on it, and my foot is connected to my other knee. Now, let's talk about two more stances. These ones are pretty easy. Forward cross stance and a rear cross stance. So just like a front stance and a back stance, real simple. My knees are bent. I'm either going to step in front of my foot and cross my feet, making a forward cross stance, or I'm going to step behind my foot, making a rear cross stance. Some things to consider as you're doing these stances to make you stable is your rear leg needs to have its shin pushing into the front leg's calf muscle. So example, if I'm in a front stance and I come to do a cross stance, I'm going to step with my shin into my calf muscle. My shin pushing into that calf muscle will give you some stability with your knees bent. Some students will be out here and there's just no control there because they're not connected. Those are your three new stances as an advanced belt, and there's one secret one I want you to practice since you're watching this video, and that is a front stance, but instead of looking forward, we're going to look over our rear leg. From here, you can practice transitioning from looking over your rear leg to a new front stance where you're looking traditional. And then I'm going to look over my rear leg and shift. If you can get that mechanic down, that'll help you a lot with some of the higher level forms and coordination that'll come from that. All right, let's get into some of our hand techniques. What we're going to start with is our half mountain block. This one's going to be a low block with one hand and an inner form block with the opposite hand. What that looks like at the same time is I chamber and I'm going to come up and go here. This is going to be a inner form block and a low block. Sometimes, depending on the practical application, you'll hear a low block and a back fist. But the concept is I'm here, two arms spreading apart into my techniques. Now, let's talk about some new fun ones for you for punching. We talked about double punch in our intermediate video. This one, we get to do a famous uppercut punch. So what that's going to do is we're going to have our hands closed into our fist. Instead of our hand being at our belt, we're going to go up into our floating rib. My thumb is going to touch my ribs up here. Just like my other punch, I'm going to reach out wherever I'm punching. In this scenario, Bob's jaw. I'm going to pull that one either to my collar or to my belt, depending on what punch we're doing. And this hand is going to push my elbow forward up into the chin. For this one, same two knuckles come in, pushes up into the chin, snapping at that last moment. One of the combinations you'll find in some of the forms is that rear cross stance we talked about. So I can be in my cross stance and I'm going to do a twin upset punch. So that means both hands, thumbs against my ribs. Again, my elbows push forward and I rotate my hands. The one in your pumse is going to go to the ribs for your shot. So I'm going to come in here, thumbs against my ribs, my rear cross stance, and twin punch coming into the body. What that looks like for my loaded weight is my hands punch when my back foot touches. So I would come in here, and when this foot touches, my hands also punch. All right, let's talk about a few different ones after that. X block or cross block. What that's going to start with is I'm going to have my hand at my side and the other hand across, just like this. These ones, I'm going to turn right here and I'm going to lift up. So for this, it's almost like I'm doing a little mini low block. The other hand is going to then support that wrist on top. So if I've got this leg in front, someone's kicking me, I'm gonna low block, but it's really strong, so I wanna do both hands. Both hands on top, push. Same idea if I'm on the other side. I'm gonna have my low blocking hand and my other hand on top, and my hands are gonna make a cross at my wrist. So I'm here, cross, cross. Okay, let's talk about a couple more advanced things. Everyone say targeted. So in some of our forms, some of our concepts is if I were to grab someone and punch them or elbow them or kick them. For your purposes, we're gonna start with our hand extended to the body as though I'm coming alongside Bob here, pulling Bob in really close. When I do this, I'm gonna then take my other elbow into my hand. You'll notice my fingers are a little bit past the elbow, but a nice flat blade. My hand is then underneath this elbow here. All right, we have a couple more, almost done. Stay with me now. What we're gonna start with for these ones is a pretty advanced one. Everyone say scissor block. So for this, I'm gonna have a chamber for a low block and a chamber for an inner forearm block. Unlike the half mountain we did that's a part one, this is gonna stay in front of us. I'm gonna go low block, inner forearm block, same time. Chamber, shift, chamber, shift, chamber, shift. This is your scissor block. All right, one last one today, and that's gonna be our twin outer forearm block. So for this one, just like my outer forearm block for my single hand, I'm gonna chamber my hands crossing them here. What I'm gonna do is I spread my hands apart and they rotate the last moment, finishing about in front of my shoulders. So I don't wanna be way out here, I wanna go cross, twin. Now, a high level thing, whichever foot is in front, that's typically gonna be the hand that chambers on the outside. So if my right foot's in front, my right hand's on the outside, twin. If it's my left foot in front, my left hand on the outside, twin. All right, that's a lot of your advanced level techniques. This is Master Crop with Fair Oaks Family Taekwondo.